One of the first things that Umar did was he bought the property, brothers and sisters, knowing that the buildings sit on contaminated soil.
I already got that. I got what I need. The only thing missing from my equation is enough funds to complete the task. That's it.
It can be ready in 3 weeks. We only have 3 weeks worth of repairs, 3 weeks worth of HVAC, 3 weeks worth of electric, 3 weeks worth of plumbing.
So then I called the bank, and the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen.
The school gonna open soon. See, my thing is, why are you arguing if you know you're gonna win? You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Once the school open, the case, now don't get me wrong, they're gonna find something else then.
On August the 5th, the city of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a notice to auction off the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy campus.
And here we go.
And straight like that, we back, man. We back, man, and straight like that. You dig what I'm saying? I hope everybody out there doing fine, doing swell, as I always said. Be like what I'm doing, like, subscribe to the content, get me in the algorithm, and I will go accordingly. You dig what I'm talking about? Now, I said when I came in, straight like that, we back. We back straight like that. Now, I would like to go off of that a little bit and just, expand upon that and say, to those of you out there that are 10 toes down, your perspective field, you dig what I'm saying? Whatever your craft is, maintain your position. You feel? Stay solid in your beliefs. Stay true to your word. There's a saying out there, they say, all I got is my balls and my word. Now that won't apply to ladies, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. Without your word, you're regarded as a piss poor human being out here. You dig what I'm saying? And so, this fella that we about to speak on, man, he didn't stick to his prior statements, man. You dig what I'm saying? What we all knew him for, what we loved him for, what we supported him for. You dig what I'm saying? He seemed to have lost his way. You dig what I'm saying? Being led astray, bamboozled type of action, man. And but who knows? He may be acting.
What happened? Police. Hold tight. I'm on my way, bro. Hold on. I'm out. I'm on my way. Babe, I gotta go.
No.
Ron got shot. The 14-year-old boy.
Okay, leave that to the Black Panthers.
No.
Your fight is towards systematic racism in education.
You dig what I'm saying? Fabulous piece of acting right there. That may be what he's employing right now. Now, we've got a long road to wind down. I got a couple of pieces of footage for y'all to check out. You dig what I'm saying? What is going to illustrate what's going on with this young man, Umar Johnson? You dig? Umar Babatunde, Prince of Pan-Africanism, on and so forth. Now, I didn't really have any smoke for Umar Johnson, man. When he first came on the scene, I caught wind of this young man from a documentary that we all know and love called Hidden Colors. There were approximately 5-6 of these joints put out. You dig what I'm saying? It had me in my bag because it happened to catch me at a time. In fact, I was floating around the west side of Atlanta, Georgia around the time. And guys would be out at the corner. That's when selling DVDs was hot. You dig what I'm saying? Bootlegging DVDs. They'll be on the corner selling all the little documentaries. I still got a gang of them to this day. And so that's when I got on to the Hidden Colors deal and ran across Umar Johnson. And, starting from there, he was a plus in my mind. You dig what I'm saying? Now, he went on from that. He parlayed that Hidden Colors fame into the motivation of speaking, being a fixture within the culture. And, these are the type of things that we saw from Umar Johnson at first that we knew him for and we loved.
What's up? Struggle is up, brother. Oppression is up, brother. Salami, eggs, and bacon. My name is Dewey. Ooh, mama say, mama say, mama kusa. Jenkins.
And I will be coming out with a Snow Bunny Crisis Therapy Manual for Black males. I'm working on a Snow Bunny Crisis self-treatment manual for black males. I'm working on a snow bunny crisis self-treatment manual for black men to help brothers who are suffering with the snow bunny crisis to free themselves from the mayonnaise. I'm going to help you liberate yourself from the mayonnaise, brothers and sisters. You will be free from the mayonnaise. No more white sugar, no more white milk, no more white.
And we're also going to have to undergo some serious modifications to our economic appetite. We're spending too much money on things we do not need, whereas the things we do need are being left undone. So, for example, as I travel the country, nowhere I've been yet, and I've been almost everywhere, there's no Black Wall Street operating for our people. And when I say Black Wall Street, I mean a Black-owned bank, Black-owned school, Black-owned supermarket, Black-owned hospital, and a Black-owned manufacturing and distribution network to give our people jobs and provide them with the basic commodities they need for everyday living.
Yeah, Umar, Umar is forever on his no snow bunnies. What's his little saying? Black women forever, snow bunnies never. That's his deal. You dig what I'm saying? Anytime we see a celebrity or somebody out with a white chick, we immediately call for Umar. You dig what I'm saying? That was his shtick, bro. Now, I've spoken on this internet fame and clout thing before. Damn near every show I make seems to lead it way back to a celebrity just being drunk on his clout. You dig what I'm saying? And so, in the case of Umar, man, Umar seemed to have let the fame and the meme life he had kind of get to his head and start to be a little bit more for the camera. You dig what I'm saying? And so after him hitting the scene for a couple of years, this is the thing right here that we started to see from Umar all the time. This is what he was touting. FDMG all day, son. You know what I mean?
Stand on business, okay? ADOS, FBA, stand on business. Native Americans, freedmen, whatever bullshit y'all into, stay over there. But we the Africans, we the Pan-Africanists, we standing on ours. We standing on ours. Y'all feel me? So I want all my Americans to know I got some big announcements coming.
Classes range from hatred for the white devil to advanced hatred for the white devil and volleyball.
FDMG, like I said, this is the school Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. Let me say that again. Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. God damn, it's almost a tongue twister. Maybe this is why everything just fell out to shit. You can't even say the name right. Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. Seminary Academy for the Starving Artists. Who in the hell knows the rest of it? But that was the school. Up there in Philadelphia. Now, this was on about, I'd say, man. It was early in the game when I ran across the Hidden Colors thing. Let's give him the sake of the argument, let's say 8 years ago is when he started. And that's a big number, bro. Like, I've known of plenty buildings to be built throughout my lifetime that I've monitored and saw again at some point. And not one of them took 8 years to build. Not one of them could. You dig what I'm saying? So here about 8 years ago, Umar starts this campaign for, sending him funds for the procurement of this here building, and said working materials and construction crews, building permits, so on and so forth, and wish to get his academy going for the betterment of black kids. I think only boys. It's going to be an all boys school. Great idea. We're with it. Let's do it. I never donated me myself, but I applauded that. Apparently, plenty of individuals did. You dig what I'm saying? To the tune of what some say is a couple of $1 million. Now, you saw him in those videos. He's standing outside his property. Always got the FDMG in the background. Comes on and said he's got big announcements. You dig what I'm saying? And so now, after a little while of the school being built, as naturally, people started to, by way of him making himself available on all of these blogs, podcasts, and getting on with his King Kong consciousness, energy, or what have you, people started to invite him around. And in normal fashion, of course, they're going to ask interview type of questions.
Why are you?
And I must say, this first video that we're going to get into, as far as people questioning the process, comes from a guy that by the time you get to the end of the video, you will see what I mean. But this is a guy that, one, does not believe that the earth is a ball. Two, does not believe that dinosaurs existed, right? So he's not like, they say don't shoot the messenger sometimes. So he's not a guy that I would normally give any kind of serious a benefit of the doubt to, but maybe at this particular time, we didn't know exactly what he was on. He a damn fool now, but at the time he was spitting bars to cuz Umar, and this is what Umar had to say.
You don't open up a school in a year or two. I don't know your brother's story, and I don't care to know it. I don't care to know it.
Why not, though? If it could be helpful to you, why wouldn't you care to know it if it could be helpful to you?
Brother, I have friends who own schools. Do you understand that? I have friends who own schools. So if I need to talk to someone who owns a school, I already got that. I got what I need. The only thing missing from my equation is enough funds to complete the task. That's it. That's it. The school is not open yet because I don't have enough funds to do it that way. I'm not going to no bank.
Maybe maybe we need fundraising, different fundraising methods. Maybe the people that we go to.
We have that in place, but what I want you to understand, it takes time to build institutions. I ain't got no problem with where we are. I'm loving where we at. We got our plans done by the engineer. We got our electrician chosen. I'm meeting with my HVAC this weekend. I got my plumber on standby. Roofer did his job. Carpenter lined up. We doing what we need to do on the time frame we doing it in. I don't need no help outside of the team I got, which is filled with experts from the East Coast to the West Coast, brother.
Okay, brother. I mean, these are definitely the answers that people want to know. They want to.
I'm not interested in people. I'm interested in donors, brother.
Yeah, but in order for you to get donors, though, you're gonna have to satisfy these. Yes, brother. And how are you gonna get donors if you don't if I'm
disagree with you?
Listen. If I'm considering to be a donor, but I have certain questions that I want answered. I feel like that's legitimate.
Can I tell you why that's bullshit?
Why? Go ahead, please.
Respectfully?
Respectfully.
You've been raising money for 6.5 years, brother. If you ain't donut by now, you ain't donating, and your question don't matter.
It can be ready in 3 weeks. We only have 3 weeks worth of repairs, 3 weeks worth of HVAC, 3 weeks worth of electric, 3 weeks worth of plumbing.
Absolutely crazy, man. But here's the thing, though. I try not to give too much voice to the YouTubian struggle streamers and the other haters I have because, especially as the school goes, the school gonna open soon. See, my thing is, why are you arguing if you know you're gonna win? You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Once the school open, the case, now don't get me wrong, they're gonna find something else then. You follow me? They're not stopping. Oh, they're not stopping.
Like when you was buying the crystals at the cart that one time?
Right. They said I was using the school money, right?
Yeah.
But I tell y'all this, though. I'm going to do a documentary on building FDMG because what we went through to get that school up and running, I should have never had to go through all the black contractors who ripped us off. Oh, we got scammed out, yo. We got scammed out, all the vandalism. We went through so much. I knew self-hate, but I never lived it before. FDMG forced me to see just how sick a lot of our people are. And I think one of the reasons God delayed the opening of the school is I still had a lot of lessons I needed to learn. I had a lot of lessons I still needed to learn. But we almost there now. We just got to get some floors done. And it's time to apply for a certificate of occupancy. So we tiptoeing around the finish line now. Thank God.
Thank God.
All right. As I said, that first video, that was Lord Jamar. You dig? Now, Lord Jamar he mentioned some sensible shit. He like, you know what I'm saying? I know people, you know, there's other resources out there that you can reach out to in order to make your dream happen. And Umar, that's an early Umar without the help. Umar wasn't having it. Umar said, I got everything I need. The only thing I don't have are the funds.
Donations.
You dig what I'm saying? Now, all kind of contradictory statements, and we got plenty more videos. But he pretty much went off the deep end. He tell Lord Jamar, I don't need any help. I don't need you and your suggestions. If you're someone that's been paying attention to me for so many months and you hadn't donated, then you're not going to donate. Therefore, your questions are irrelevant. Well, that would beg the question that, okay, so a person that believes the earth is round, agrees that the dinosaurs existed, and donated whatever amount. Now, he's got 3 different tiers. If you still go to the website, he got an FDMG bronze, silver, and gold. $50, $100, and $250. I'm apparently a month. Still up. He's still trying to get that, but we're going to get to that a little later. But he doesn't want any suggestions. He doesn't need any help. If you hadn't donated, you can't ask him questions. Well, what about the people that fit the other side of that? And they have donated, and the other 2 things I mentioned. If they ask you a question about what the money is, then what? You dig what I'm saying? We see you on the Breakfast Club. We 3 weeks out. Now, this 3 weeks was months ago. Probably a year ago at this point. A lot of these videos are older. We 3 weeks out, plumbing, tiles. You know, he went with the land tiles thing for a minute. He's had a couple paint parties and out there. 3 weeks out, you dig what I'm saying? You see him on this other show, you know what I'm saying? He swears that the what he calls them YouTubian struggle streamers. And I'll raise my hand, sir. I fit the profile of a YouTubian struggle streamer. You know, I would chalk that up to being very fresh and new in the YouTube world. But at any rate, I will own up to that. That does not take away any ability of mine to critique some bullshit. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't know the point that he was trying to make. Does it have to be a reputable news source in order to gather these videos and this content and see what people are saying about you and put it together? Will it be serious then? Don Lemon. Let's call Don Lemon. Tell Don Lemon to put together a video for Umar, and then I guess it'll be all good. But at any rate, we on your ass, pimp. You dig what I'm saying? And I will kind of, no, I won't. I won't do that yet. I won't even go down my rant path. But again, we saw those 3 videos. You know, the questions started coming in. The fire's getting a bit hot. You got to answer some questions. Now, we're going to start to see some developments. Because I actually saw a tweet, I think, from Umar a couple months ago. And it seemed a bit funny. You dig what I'm saying? But as people are starting to ask, where is the school? Why isn't the school started? We thought he was going to surprise us with an announcement this coming school year. Like, boom, school is open. I got y'all. Y'all thought I was bullshitting with the money. I'm out here making moves. We standing on business. Send your application in. That's what we thought. But we did not get that. Instead, this is what the world wakes up to from a one Umar Johnson, Babatunde, King Kong conscious.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade, Intercontinental Ifatunde RB Jesus, coming to you live and direct from Philadelphia. I have a very important message. I'm only going to keep you about 5 minutes. I have a very important message. I'm only going to keep you about 5 minutes. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my continental Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Australian Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Caribbean Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Africans in Europe and Asia. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Brazil and my South American Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to Panama and Costa Rica, my Central American Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my Canadian Africans. Peace and Pan-Africanism to my New York, my Carolina, my Texas, my Phoenix, my Philly, my Jersey, my Maryland, my Baltimore, my Georgia, my Florida, my Arkansas, Alabama, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City Africans. It's your big brother King Kong. I need y'all to listen up. I got a very important announcement. I'm only going to keep you a few minutes. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. I logged into my account just to check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th. Only to discover that I could not log into my account. So then I called the bank to find out what was going on. And the bank told me to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account. The bank that I've been with since I was a teenager told me they had no record of my account. So then I called the bank. And the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. Both bank accounts have been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access into my personal account and the FDMG account. Brothers and sisters, if you have sent a donation to FDMG, let's give it until the end of the month to see if this gets cleared up. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. If you have sent a check or money order donation to FDMG, let's wait until August the 1st, Black August, and see if this situation has gotten cleared up. They told me they sent me a letter to this point on July the 10th, the day that I left for South Africa. I was told that the timeline of suspicious activity was June 25th to July the 10th. I was told that the timeline for suspicious activity was between June 25th, that's when Medea went public. Everybody knows who Medea is. July 25th, that's when Medea went public. July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. So y'all know my suspicion. I believe Medea and Pastor Bussy were fraudulently trying to get into my account. And if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested because fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is federal offense. Again, June 25th to July 10th is the period of suspicious activity. That is from the time Medea went public and I left for South Africa. Between the time Medea went public and I went for South Africa. So brothers and sisters, if you want to make a donation to FDMG, you must send it to PayPal. Hold off on the checks and money orders until the situation is resolved. Hold off on all FDMG Academy money order and check donations until the situation is resolved. If you want to make a donation to FDMG, send it through PayPal. Right? PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. If you want to make a donation to the school, hold off on checks and money orders until we find out what the hell is going on. The bank is investigating the fraudulent attempts on our account. If I find out Medea and Pastor Bussy had anything to do with this, I was told that they can be arrested for federal offense. I was told they can be arrested for federal offense. I was told they can be arrested for federal offense. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. My personal PayPal account is Umar the Psychologist at yahoo.com. So that's paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist. PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist. PayPal.me/UMARTHEPSYCHOLOGIST. PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist. Or hit my Apple Pay using my cell number 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. I've never asked the people for $1. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for Boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve. But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank because someone has been trying to hack into my account, hack into FDMG Academy account. So the FDMG Academy account is frozen. My personal account is also frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going to lapse on our internet bill. We're going to lapse on a lot of our bills at FDMG. The bank is not giving me a timeline as to when this situation is going to be resolved. If I don't have Cash App, nor does FDMG have Cash App. I do not have a Cash App. I only have Apple Pay and PayPal. If you can spare a few dollars, send it to my Apple Pay, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, or my PayPal, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist. Although Leo season is off to a rocky start, brothers and sisters, we will overcome. Shout out to all my donors. Newark, New Jersey, I'ma see you. Nat Turner, I'ma see you. Mobile, Alabama, I'ma see you. New Orleans, Louisiana, Hurricane Katrina, I'ma see you. Kenya, January, I'ma see you. FDMG is coming. We just got to lay down on floors, brothers and sisters. Lay down on floors, and we applying for a certificate of occupancy. I don't have any money in my pocket because my account is frozen. If you could send a few dollars to Dr. Umar for Apple Pay or PayPal, I would greatly appreciate it. Black Queens forever. Snow Bunnies never. Enjoy your weekend. Leo season forever. Peace and Pan-Africanism.
Hey, I've flown around the streets of Atlanta, Georgia, and various other cities around the United States of America. If you want to say privy, unfortunate, whichever term you want to put on it, on my experience with known scammers. Everything Umar said in that video was a red flag to me in regards to this money thing. Now, again, I mentioned to you that over the course of at least 8 years, Umar has been collecting money from mostly dipshits out here in the world, gullible dipshits, to the tune of what could be interpreted as a couple of $1 million. Some estimates go 700,000 up to 4 million and varying numbers in between. You dig what I'm saying? Umar says, first of all, bro. Well, I can't even say that. I was about to say Umar probably got more bread than me. I ain't just out here fucked up, but I would imagine Umar got more money in the bank than me. And with that being said, for the amount of money that I have in the bank, nigga, I damn near check my account daily. You dig what I'm saying? My cash app around 7, 8 o'clock damn near every night starts to try to get 53 cent, 103. Somebody got my card number somewhere and they try to get me. So I'm checking my monies every day. Whether I spent some or not, I'm just always kind of looking at my money. So you want to tell me a guy with that, I don't know, maybe the richer you get, the less you check on your bread. I don't know how it is to be super rich. If he's super rich, but you get with the gist of what I'm saying. But Umar says that he hadn't checked his bank account because he was out of town, which makes no sense. You've got to convert cash over, why would you have, okay. He gets a text from his homeboy, call from his homeboy, said, homeboy needed Umar to send him a couple of dollars, okay? He goes to go into his bank account, I guess, to transfer money, send a Zelle, whatever the hell. He can't get in his bank account. He says he then calls the bank. The bank asks him for his 16-digit card number. Maybe that happened. But, you know, when you call the automated line, your phone number is associated with an account and it'll prompt you down a different path if it recognizes your phone number as associated with the account. So for it to ask him for his 16-digit, I would think that the system recognized his number. But Umar says once he put the number in, the bank told him, he said the bank, but let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. He's fast speaking, he nervous, his money gone, he fucked up out here in the world. So he didn't actually call the bank, he called the automated machine. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, even though it ain't what he said. Automated machine says that we have no record at all of your account. I don't know that I've ever heard an automated machine say something like that. They may say, hey, let me get you over to someone, this, that, and that. Umar says that the system tells him they have no record of his account that he's had with them since he was a teenager. He then calls in and actually speaks to a person. They alert him that his account is frozen. Not only his personal account, but also his FDMG account. The two, I don't see the two having to do with each other. Maybe bank processes, they freeze everything that's in your account, savings, checkings, this, that, and the third. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Funds are frozen. Now, I've already got a problem with you only finding out when someone else asked you for some money. And now you're just now checking out your money. I'm mad that as the type of person you are bringing in this kind of money, supposedly, that you only have one account. I mean, again, I don't have the kind of money that I'm thinking that Umar has, but I've got 3 bank accounts spread out over 3 institutions. You dig what I'm saying? Who puts all the eggs in one basket? He goes on to again, he says that he blames it on what he said, Big Papa Pussy, hagfish, what he call these folks? He's just going on ad hominem attacks against the people that he's blaming it on, in which everyone else is looking at him, but he's pointing at everybody else, saying these are the people that probably did the fraudulent activity. You know, that's against the law. We hadn't heard about any of these people being arrested, being pursued, mentioned in any kind of court proceedings as far as Umar's money. But let Umar tell it. This is the reason. I say it all the time. Someone that always has someone to blame, look out for them. And then he goes on into advertising for more money again. He gave you his Zelle. He gave you his address. He gave you his social security number. He told you what size drawers he wear, ladies. He needed all. He fucked up out here. Money froze. Money gone. No more money loan. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where we landed at with Umar. That was his first foray into letting the people know what's going on with his money, right? And then we creep into this next video because people started sniffing around like, what's going on? And boy, oh boy, this is what he hit us with next.
On August the 5th, the city of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a notice to auction off the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy campus for unpaid vacant property registration fees. I repeat, on August the 5th, the city of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a lien to auction off the campus we bought, the campus we've been working on for 6.5 years. I was not notified of this. We were not notified of this. This past weekend, without an email, this past weekend, without a letter in the mail, this past weekend, without a phone call, the city of Wilmington put a notice on the door handle of both of our schools, informing me that if we don't pay the past due vacant property registration fees and outstanding utilities by the 25th of Black August, they will sell our campus. Brothers and sisters, can I ask you a question? Why were we not notified that they were going to try to sell our campus? Brothers and sisters, why are they trying to sell our campus at the very moment that our accounts are frozen? Brothers and sisters, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that the city of Wilmington is trying to sell properties that we own and have been working on continuously behind our backs? They were going to sell our schools behind our backs. They didn't even tell us that they were going to try to sell our schools. We received no notice in the mail. We received no notice by email. We received no phone calls at all that they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door handle. Somebody stole one set of notifications and sent it to the YouTubian struggle streamers. Somebody stole the Frederick Douglass High School paperwork off the front door and sent it to the struggle streamers. But luckily for us, Sister Ra Ebony was able to get the paperwork off the Marcus Garvey School before the haters stole that paperwork. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe that they were going to sell the school, and they wanted to sell the school before we found out. I believe that they wanted to sell the school before we found out. We were not supposed to know that they were going to sell our school. Why do I say that? We were given no notification. We received no letter in the mail. We received no email. We received no phone call that they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door in a low-income neighborhood. They put a notice on the door with rubber band and masking tape. They put a notice on the school front door with a rubber band and masking tape.
Again, here we go with the blame game. Around the circle blame game. So Umar jumps on and says that on the 5th August, what happened? Wilmington, Delaware had a plan to take the school and place it on the auction block for failure to pay some unpaid fees. Now, some people dug into this thing and saw that, again, varying numbers, but we see that there are 2 bills owed, I think a water bill, light bill, power bill, some type of bills to the tune of $70,000, $80,000.
Umar Johnson owes the feds around $40,000 in penalties and is probably going to lose that school. It's also why he's asking you guys for so much money every single day. See, if you go to courtconnects.gov and then put in 2 case numbers or put in Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, you're going to find 2 very, very ridiculous citations stating that on one building they owe $17,810.77 and on the other they owe $20,577.45. When I say they, I mean Umar. The trick of it is he's been putting the name down as Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy, Inc. But here's the really big kicker. See how that says vacant registration fee? See how that says $15,000? And see how it says $15,000 over here too? Well, if you take a look above my head, you'll see that you receive a new financial penalty every year that this building
is vacant, culminating in $5,000 at the 10-year mark. However, there's an additional $500 every year after. Now, I'm going to ask you, if it stops at $5,000 at 10 years of vacancy, but he owes collectively around $30,000 between both buildings in those vacant registration fees, did Umar Johnson ever buy this building, or did he just slap his name on it?
With the kind of money that this man put together over the years, 80,000 is nothing. You dig what I'm saying? It's nothing to spend it on, especially if it's towards the school. It can be accounted for in your taxes, in your bank account, receipts for work, services offered, services rendered, this, that, and the third. Umar didn't pay it. Time for the city to take the school back. Now, we've got a video down towards the end of this that's going to shed some light on the entirety of this project from the beginning. You dig what I'm saying? But that was the second video from you know what I'm saying? Continually setting up the wig. Now it's somebody else's fault. They didn't properly serve him. But then they was able to get some paperwork offline before the haters got a hold to it. It's just the haters. It's the white man. The white man he been railing against all his life. Then finally reared his head against Umar. Now, I'll be the first to agree with you about some of the backstabbing and conniving tactics that a certain group of individuals use against other group of individuals as it pertains to the United States of America. I'd be the first one to agree with you. But I'd also be the first one to tell you that I'm not someone that subscribes to like them being the boogeyman, because ain't none of them ever stopped me from doing shit, and they never will. They may have thrown me off track for some things. I can speak on some things in life where it's like, yeah, they put their hand in there and kind of wigged me out my position. But I've been having, I'm gonna have, and that's just what's happening. You dig what I'm saying? So you'll never hear me out here talking about, oh man, the man keeping me down and out my way. I will call him out for the piece of shit son of a bitch that he is, but you would never see him make me miss a step out here. Like, you dig what I'm saying? So this whole, the white man taking from me, nigga, ain't nobody taking from you, bro. Like, you can't take nothing from me that I'll let you have. I ain't gonna hold you. You dig what I'm saying? And if I want it bad enough, you got to kill me about it. And if I want to keep it bad enough, I'm trying to kill you about it. So that's just where we at with that. But that was what Umar had to say as far as, you know, how his school got slid out from under him. You dig what I'm saying? And then everybody pretty much unleashed on him. You know what I'm saying? Videos from everywhere. A lot of people saying, I told you so. I never trusted him. These, you know, so-called leaders of the black community, you know, and it's unfortunate, man, because a lot of them are exposed to be fraudulent people. You dig what I'm saying? But I think it comes from this whole clout game and being famous and what you can do off clicks. He's talking about YouTubian struggle streamers, saying anything for clicks. I mean, how different is Umar? You dig what I'm saying? How different is Umar from a YouTubian struggle stream? Everything he started to do was clicks as we went down the road. And so here we are. And so I guess without even, you know, going too far into the bag of trying to deny the claims or explain what happened, Umar just jumped into another group.
I got a new program coming out for the ladies. It's called Lunch with the Doctor. It's called Lunch with the Doctor. You make a $500 donation to FDMG Academy, ladies. $500 donation to FDMG Academy, and you get a free lunch with Dr. Umar, restaurant of your choice in the state of Wilmington, Delaware. I said we got a new program called Lunch with Dr. Umar. Private lunch. Ladies, you got to donate $500 to the FDMG Academy, and I will take you to lunch, private lunch, any restaurant you want in the state of Delaware. It's called Lunch with the Doctor, and it costs you $500. You don't pay for the lunch, I pay for the lunch. Any restaurant in the state of Delaware. Oh, yes. Brothers, don't hate. We got to stop hating. Brothers, we got to stop hating. Don't hate, my ninja, because if I ask your wife if she want that luncheon, if I ask your wife if she want that luncheon, if I ask your baby mom, do she want that luncheon with the doctor, we know what she gonna say, ninja. Don't test my intellectual gangster. If I roll up on your girlfriend your live-in prisoner you call a girlfriend. If I roll up on your live-in prisoner, your romantic prisoner you call a girlfriend, who ain't there because she want to be, she there because she got to be. If I roll up on your romantic prisoner, my brother, if I roll up on your romantic prisoner you call a girlfriend who living with you because she got to, not because she want to, do she want that lunch date with the doctor? Do your wifey want that lunch date with the doctor? I think we all know the answer to that. Me and you are not the same. I keep telling you that. Me and you, we not the same. You not 6'3", dark chestnut cocoa brown with the North Philly beard. You ain't Leo King, Ninja. You ain't Pan-Africanist #1. Nobody flying you to every continent to hear what you got to say. Only me. Don't make me take my t-shirt off and turn into King Kong right now. Don't make me beat my chest. Don't make me beat my chest. King Kong. Stop playing.
Hey, my nigga, like I tell y'all all the time, I am not in the business to hold anybody against their will. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you. But that's one thing I can tell you. Umar can't take not nan bitch I done ever had in my life for me. I'm not believing. Umar say he got a new system, a new plan, a new event, a new swang on things. And that is for $500 donated to FDMG Academy. You ain't get a choice of, you get a choice of restaurant. For $500, you get to go on a dinner date with Umar Babatunde at a restaurant of your choosing, only in the state of in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. How many eateries does Wilmington, Delaware have anyways? And then let's go down the road. You not taking by Miss Umar. I don't know. I don't think Umar taking nobody chick. In fact, I got a video and I don't think I'm gonna play it because I don't want to give too many people just, free shine, man, and some of the things they saying because, some people could be disgruntled out here. But there's a chick video. I'm not going to use it, but she swear, bro, pushing up on her heavy, even though she said she had it, man. But I'm looking at her like, you went to have lunch with Umar anyway. And she said, I told my man and he didn't like it. So I'm already looking at her funny. So therefore, I'm not going to use the video. But again, I say, I don't think Umar had taken nobody like us. You dig what I'm saying? He ain't singing to him.
Yeah. Shut the chocolate.
God damn, that boy can sing.
You dig what I'm saying? That King Kong kind, I don't think that should work like that. But bro say, hey, don't hate. Let your wife see this message. Let your girl see this message, bro, because she can't resist but to go with. I have no confidence that that's true, but that's what Umar says. And so that was his last. No shame, bro. No shame. And that gives scammer vibes, bro. They'll get caught red-handed, look stupid, go to jail. They'll get out of jail and go right back to the internet and type up another ad and send it out. It's crazy. But that's what he comes with, bro. So, before we get into this last thing, because this last thing is going to put it all together. And actually, I guess I'll wait till after this video, actually. So I have a guy here, and shout out to LTTV. That's my dog, Blunt Talk with LT. I was watching LT the other day, and he was covering this, and he popped in. He didn't even tell everybody he had a guest, but he popped in with this guy right here, and this guy gave a lot of background as to how this whole nonprofit 501c3, how this whole fiasco started. And, let this be a lesson. You hear a lot of black folks always hiding about, I'm going to get a nonprofit 501c3. And it's because they think they can get bread easy and get away with it. And it's like, man, the government is not give. You think the government has designed a system in which they'll give you any goddamn thing that they don't fully have control over and can monitor each and every aspect of it? Your stupid ass think that it's a system I designed by the white man government that you can outsmart? Like, come on, bro. But they always hollering about nonprofits because they think that's the lick. But Homie is about to explain a couple of things to you about nonprofits, what you should do with them, and it's just like I say, some background information on Umar and FDMG Academy.
You cannot take nonprofit money, donations of any kind, 1 penny, $1, $100, 100,000, and use it for personal reasons. Period. You cannot take nonprofit status money donation and use for personal reasons. Period. However, you are allowed to pay yourself a salary as Umar Johnson could have done. I am licensed. I'm here in California, by the way, Northern California. I've also lived in the state of Georgia for my work, grant writing. I've also lived in the state of Florida for my grant writing. And when Umar would come here to California, he would always come to a place called the Black Repertory Theater, which is located in Berkeley, California, a little small city right outside of Oakland. I am the current West Coast Regional Chairman of the Black Beret Liberation Movement, located out of Phoenix, Arizona. I'm also the current West Coast Chairman of the Street Law Soldiers out of Washington, D.C., under the Honorable Tashaka Sankofa. I am the former West Coast Regional Chairman of the Black Panther Party under the late Dr. Khalid Muhammad. And I am also a former teacher, educator, and a former Junior Panther of the late, great Dr. Huey P. Newton. Brothers and sisters, this has ended exactly as I projected. Because I would see Umar Johnson at the Black Repertory Theater when he first started getting donations as late as 2015. And a few people that knew him and knew me, we ran across each other, we exchanged numbers, and we weren't friends or anything. I just want to make that clear. I just would give him advice like I give anyone that are into nonprofit organizations and have a nonprofit status. When I first talked to Umar, we've sat on panels together because I do the same work he does. I do motivational speaking and all of that. My work have literally taken me just like Umar, not just around this country, but around the world. And I told Umar, I would just simply say, like, hey, brother, how is the, how's the donations coming? How's the school? And I wasn't paying attention to it because I have my own life. I just want to make that clear. But I knew what he was doing, because I was, I would go and listen to his lectures and stuff. And so I would say, well, hey, Umar, how's the donations coming? How's the building looking? And then just as a bit of free advice, like I would tell you if we crossed paths and I knew that you were new to having the grant, I would say, hey, Umar, make sure you keep those books tight, because if people don't understand, having a nonprofit is not a right, it's a privilege. Just because you sign up to have a nonprofit, it doesn't mean that it has to be granted to you under what we call articles of incorporation. I charge $100 an hour to write grants, but I also have started up nonprofit organizations for various organizations across this country, including parents like Wanda Johnson, the mother of the late, great Oscar Grant, who start nonprofits that may have lost a child. So this is what I do, and I'm also a tax man. Umar Johnson, first of all, knew from my free advice that what he want. I don't, and by the way, I don't know, brother and listening audience, if he was spending the money at the time or not. I'm just telling you that this is the advice that I give people. Tighten up the book, because you have to be held accountable, brothers and sisters, for every dime that goes out, every dime that comes in. Because at the end of the year, just like any other business, a lot of people get it confused because it's nonprofit. You have to report your taxes at the end of the year, just like I do personally, and just like I do with my various businesses. Having a nonprofit is no different. The numbers have to line up. Now, one of the first things that Umar did was he bought the property, brothers and sisters, knowing that the buildings sit on contaminated soil. There will never, ever, ever allow to be a legitimate business on that said property unless you have millions upon millions of dollars. Why? Because contamination means just like a gas station. You have to bring in a company, first of all, to bust up all of the concrete, all of the asphalt, go underground and remove the contaminated soil. It's not a $1, $2, $3 million popcorn job. We haven't even gotten to the buildings yet. The excuse that Umar cannot fall behind, brothers and sisters, because it was the city inspectors that had the building closed down and recommended that the buildings be torn down, which is why the buildings remain today on vacant property listing for the city of Wilmington, Delaware. They don't mind selling them to someone like Umar, but they're going to assume if you take on a project, brother, of this magnitude, you have the money to do what needs to be done. Because when you buy property, I'm also a retired licensed contractor. I built homes across this country. I've helped build Walmarts, Sam's Clubs, as well as Home Depots.
Today I'm going to make a beat.
So he knew. And by the way, 75% of what I'm sharing with each and every one of you is public information. This is why I don't blame just Umar for doing what he's doing. I hold the public just as accountable. The buildings remain today on vacant property listing for the city of Wilmington, Delaware. They don't mind selling them to someone like Umar. 2022, anywhere within the 50 states of the United States until he handled the paperwork and the tax issue from the first, because if you simply had a set at the computer like you're doing, listening to the show, any other show, or doing anything else that you do with internet, you could have pulled up this information. It is not hidden. So let me take care of Wilmington, and then I'll go back to what a lot of you may not know, which is why I tell people Umar's situation with his daughter, Umar having $40,000 in back taxes recently is the least of his problems, because what a lot of you may not know is that this is Umar's second nonprofit. Umar's original nonprofit out of Philadelphia, his home city, was revoked way back in 2022 when he was sent a cease and desist order, not a letter, a cease and desist order, ordering Umar to not collect a wooden nickel from the day of that letter. I believe it was March or April 2022, anywhere within the 50 states of the United States until he handled the paperwork and the tax issue from the first nonprofit that he had that was revoked. Let me make that clear. We don't even have to talk about Wilmington, Delaware. It's irrelevant, brothers and sisters, with all due respect. Why is it irrelevant? Because the property sits on contaminated soil. Everybody in the United States that knows anything about property, everybody in the immediate area knows this. It's not a secret. It can be pulled up on the city's website. Again, before I get to Philadelphia and wrap this up, well, why did he buy it? They would have sold it to you or I, hoping and thinking that we had the multi-millions of dollars to do exactly what needed to be done to the property, starting with the busting up of the concrete, busting up of the asphalt to remove the contamination. Contamination underground, brothers and sisters, is just like mildew that you see outside the walls. You see the black one in the construction arena, we call it spider lines, okay? You cannot remove mold, brothers and sisters. I don't care if you put 50 coats of paint. Mold on walls is just like contamination under the ground. You have to strip the building all the way down, which means, brothers and sisters, literally busting up that concrete, which we call it stucco, bringing the building down to a skeleton, just like it would look when it was first built, and totally restuccoing the whole building. That is the absolute positive only way you can get rid of mold. Even mold inside your home. You have to rip out the walls and replace the walls to relieve mold. You cannot paint over mold. So again, the reason why I'm saying the property is irrelevant, the doors, the painting, the paint parties, it's all a waste of time. It's all what we call a illusion of progress. Make the people look like I'm doing something. Make the people look like we're getting this done. It is we call it an illusion of progress. Standing on camera with the FDMG sign, made sure it's always on camera, brother, is not by accident. It is to fool his foolish followers and, with all due respect, his dumb donors. It is an illusion of progress. Make it look like that's why when you notice if he does something like hang the doors, he makes such a big deal about it because it keeps the money coming in. The building should have never been bought. Umar knew that. It's all part of the scam.
And so, like I said, again, shout out to LTTV, man. Blunt Talk with LT. That's Malik Muhammad. Now, he laid out his credentials. It's about a 2-hour-long interview. If y'all will go over there and fuck with LT, man, and give him a click, give him a view for that whole thing. Don't strike me, bruh. You dig what I'm saying? But yeah, bro goes on and he laid out his credentials, man. You know, he said he's a tax man, he's a grant writer, a part of 4 or 5 different chapters of, you know, Black Panthers and organizations for the culture. He said he ran across Umar years ago, and not that they were just partnering him, but he would give bro free game about what he was doing with these 501c3s. But again, like I said, just because it's a nonprofit does not mean that there's any kind of limited oversight. You have got to account for your business expenditures as if any other company. And it may even, I don't know if it's more strenuous or not with it being a nonprofit, but there are just as many checks and balances in place. You dig what I'm saying? You cannot use those funds on personal expenditures. A lot of people learned that through the PPP time. Went to prison. I had this chick telling me the other day, hey, man, I'll get a loan and then put this into this and put this into that. They're going to put your ass into prison. That's what's going to get put into put. You dig what I'm saying? So, you know, but you hear bros tell. He said Umar knew full well. You hear the end of that towards the end. He said Umar knew full well that the building the ground that school is built upon was contaminated soil. And no legitimate business was going to be allowed to be there unless the person that bought it had millions upon millions of dollars to basically start all the way up. Take the whole building down, bust up the ground, the cement, the dirt, all that. You dig what I'm saying? And basically just start a new earth under that something. Obviously, Umar was not prepared to do that. Now, and bro says, don't take my word for it. He says, in the part that I don't think I included, he was like, I really blame the public at large that donated to this guy. Because you could have easily typed this into your Google, and this was publicly shared information. He's like, they don't mind selling it to a fool. Well, I don't know if they know if you're a fool or not, but it's like, that's kind of like that scene in Sinners. You dig what I'm saying? You know, the dude sold the twins the building, but towards the end, you know, dude told them they were never going to let you thrive in this building. You was going to have your little opening night party. If they were going to come through and murk y'all and take it right back. You dig what I'm saying? So, could have been a situation like that. We'll let him spend the money on it. No, he doesn't have the money to fix it, or every time he comes around to make another step, you know, we're going to present him with this, that, and the third, and pretty much make it impossible. Get his money, he move out, we recycle and do it again. Or, maybe they thought he had the millions. He's really going to invest. He's really for the culture. He really wants to make a place here for young black boys to come and get educated. That doesn't seem to have happened. And so, if Mr. Malik is spot on with what he's saying, man, it's a stark illustration of I just think how I don't really want to cut him no concessions because there aren't any in this situation, man. Had I been someone, I don't donate to anybody, shit like that. So I would have never been one to get got. But we've all had some questions here in the past and just some little funny statements about Umar, what a building at, what a school at, bro. You dig what I'm saying? And then apparently it was never meant to be. And from what Malik is saying, Umar knew that from the jump. And so it was just a grift to collect money. But they out here running around saying, bro, homeless. Said, cuz been homeless the last 5 years. So you're a deadbeat dad. All that. Just shooting bad for the culture. I heard his daughter came out a couple months ago with a little video. I didn't put it in because, that's familiar matter. That's a young girl. I didn't want to put her in it. But she came out and said, man, this man comes to no important functions, no financial support, all of that, bro. And I'm like, how are you you know what I mean? I don't know what he defines himself. FBA, those, all these, these niggas got weird ass names for everything these days. But to be a rep for the culture and telling other people how to stand up and fight and get together and move forward, like he doesn't seem to be like he was doing any of that, bro. And that's so unfortunate for the culture because every time we have a group or a person that at least people on the outside look at as like representatives of the culture, they always fall flat, man, and kind of put a stain on the culture. But as I say all the time, we don't go behind one person, one individual as a representative of us. But, that doesn't stop the outside world from looking at the shortcomings of one of them and blanketing the entire culture with those views, man. And so it's an ugly look for Umar, bro. I don't really see anything coming from his side that is gonna make us think otherwise. And it appears that the FDMG thing is kaput no more. And I guess the only thing we could go from here to look forward to, I won't say look forward to, but the only other new news, I guess, is see if somebody get indicted or go to prison about mismanaging some money. We hadn't heard of a case being filed, but we do know that the city of Wilmington is on his head about this building, this school, and they're about to take it out from under him. Seems like he's been exposed for being a scammer, man. I'm not gonna say one way or the other, but I'm going with the evidence, and the evidence so far is not looking good for Umar Babatunde. You dig what I'm saying? But we'll stay tuned, man, and see what continues to come from this case. If nothing, then nothing. If so, I'll bring it to my folks. But until then, it's been straight like that, man.
And here we go.
I don't know what kind of vibe you think you got off me, but I don't play that way.